Hey lovely, my name is Janae and I'm the lead instructor at Vitality by Vibely. Now I know we're all dying to know how Megan Thee Stallion has these crazy strong knees, but let me tell you, the knee is actually a joint. So in order to have strong knees, you do have to strengthen the muscles around them. I've created this flow that's going to strengthen and lengthen the muscles around the knees so that you can drop it low just like Meg. You don't need any prior yoga experience to participate in this video. All you'll need is a mat and a towel. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna start seated on the heels. If this at all is too much for you, go ahead and take that towel, place it on top of the calves, and then sit back on the towel. That should relieve some tension. Placing the hands on the tops of the thighs to ground yourself, and gently close the eyes. Let's take this moment here to arrive on our mats. Thank yourselves for taking the time to come here and practice. I like to set an intention at the beginning of each practice. So whether that's just I want to cultivate a quality more in my life, or I want to set an intention to be more present and mindful, whatever that is, go ahead and define what that means for you. Maybe your intention is just to be more intentional. And then bring the focus to the breath. Taking a deep inhale through the nose here, fill the belly. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, inflate the belly. Exhale, squeeze it all out. Last time, inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, squeeze it all out. Go ahead and gently flick the eyes back open, and we'll go ahead and get started. So we're gonna come up onto the shins, and as we come up onto our shins, we're gonna drop the right hand, graze the right fingertips up on top of the mat, and then lift the left arm. You don't have to come up all the way, just a little bit. Inhale here. Exhale, swing the left arm down, right arm comes up, hips come out, press into the shins, inhale. Exhale, switch sides. Inhale, arm come up. Exhale, lower the hand down. Inhale, right arm comes up. Exhale, down. One last set. Inhale, left arm comes up, press into the shins, lift the hips. Exhale, drop the hand. Last time on the right. Inhale, right arm comes up overhead, press into the shins, hips come up. Exhale, let it all go. Go ahead and remove the towel from underneath the butt if you have it there. Come on over to the left side and swing the legs to extend directly out in front of you. You're gonna take your towel and you're gonna place the towel directly below the knees. Bring the hands behind the back and tent the fingertips just to keep the chest up. On the inhale, you're gonna squeeze the quad and you're gonna lift the heels off the mat. So inhale, both heels come up off the mat. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, heels come off the mat, squeeze the quads. Exhale, let it go. Inhale again, squeeze the quads, lift the heels off the mat. Exhale, let it go. A couple more times. Inhale, squeeze the quads, lift the heels. Exhale, let it go. Last time. Inhale, squeeze the quads, lift the heels. Exhale, let it go. Take a moment to readjust yourself. Make sure that that chest is up. Squeeze into the shoulder blades. Tent the fingertips just to give yourself some leverage. We're gonna isolate each leg this time. So on the inhale, we're only gonna squeeze the right quad and lift the right heel off the ground. Inhale here. Squeeze the right quad, lift the right heel. Exhale, drop it down to the mat. Inhale, squeeze the right quad, lift the right heel. Exhale, lower it down back to the mat. Keep the chest high. Inhale, lift the right heel off the mat, squeeze the quad, flex the feet if you can. Exhale, let it all go. One more time. Inhale, squeeze the right quad, lift the right heel off the ground, flex the feet. Exhale, let it go. Take a moment to adjust yourself again. Make sure that chest stays nice and tall. We're lifting out of the hips, sitting bones pressed firmly into the mat. We're gonna isolate the left leg this time. So we inhale, squeeze the left quad, lift the left heel up off the mat. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up and squeeze. Exhale, lower the left heel down. Inhale, up and squeeze. Exhale, lower down. Two more times. Inhale, up and squeeze. Flex that left foot. Exhale, lower down to the mat. Last time. Inhale, lift the left heel off the mat, squeeze the left quad, flex the left foot. Exhale, lower down. Go ahead and shake it all out. You can get rid of that towel for right now and go ahead and flip over into a tabletop position. We want to make sure that our shoulders are directly above the wrists and that our hips are directly above the knees. Tuck the toes under, spread the fingertips wide, dig into those fingertips and base knuckles so that you have some leverage, and then send the hips back. I like to keep my knees bent a little bit just so that I can get those hips back a little bit more, and then I start to reach the heels down. I also keep a slight bend in my knees because otherwise I tend to hyperextend. And this is a good way for me to keep my hips up high. Take deep breaths here, settling into the downward dog. You can pedal out your dog here. Keeping those hips high. My mat's a little slippery today. That's okay. Go ahead and start to walk the feet towards the top of the mat. And then inhale, slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. One more inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, prayer hands, hands to heart center. Heel toe the feet in so that the big toes come to touch. We're gonna shift our weight back into the heels, arms come up, squeeze the knees and thighs together for chair pose. Now from here, you wanna make sure that you untuck the pelvis, you reach to the fingertips and out of the rib cage. Sit back as much as you can and keep squeezing everything into that midline. Take a few breaths here. And on your next inhale, we're gonna shift the weight into the left foot, right knee comes up. And then step the right foot back for high lunge. Bring the hands to the hips. making sure that you square off the hips to the front of your room or front of the mat, standing high up on the toe, high up on the balls of the right foot, and lean your weight into the left foot. Try to keep the weight into the big toe to take the heat off of the knees. Arms come back up overhead. From here, you're gonna take a slight bend in the right knee. Take an inhale here. And exhale, you're gonna shift the weight forward, fingertips come back, extend the right leg, squeeze into that right quad for runner's lunge. You can stay here, or you can drop the hands so that they frame the left foot into a modified runner's lunge. Inhale, graze the fingertips across the mat, come back into the high lunge. Exhale, shift the weight forward, fingertips come back, squeeze into that right quad. Inhale, arms come up, high lunge. Exhale, shift the weight forward, runner's lunge. Couple more times here. Inhale, graze the tops of the mat, come up back into that modified runner's lunge. Exhale, shift the weight forward, squeeze the quads. Stay high up on the balls of the right foot. Last set here. Inhale, graze the fingertips, arms come up. Exhale, shift the weight forward, high for runner's lunge. Drop the hands back to frame the left foot. Step back into a plank position. Come into a downward dog. Walk the feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, roll up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Heels toe the feet in so that the big toes are touching. Take the weight back into the heels. Arms come up for chair pose. Squeezing everything into the midline, keeping the pelvis untucked, lifting out the hips and the rib cage and through the fingertips. Take an inhale and shift the weight into the right foot. Left knee comes up. Exhale, step back for high lunge. So now we're high up on the ball of the left foot. We're leaning into that right knee, making sure that the knee is tracking over the ankle. Bringing the hands to the hips so that we can square off the hips to the front of the mat. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Slight bend in the left knee and take an inhale here. Exhale, shift the weight forward, straighten out the left leg, runner's lunge. Squeeze that left leg, squeeze that left quad. Inhale, graze the mat. Arms come up overhead, slight bend in the left knee. Exhale, shift forward, runner's lunge. Inhale, graze the mat. Come up, high lunge. Slight bend in the left knee. Exhale, shift the weight forward, runner's lunge. Couple more times. Inhale, graze the mat. Come on up, high lunge. Exhale, shift the weight forward into runner's lunge. Last time. Inhale, graze the mat. Come on up. Exhale, shift the weight forward. Fingertips reach back, or you can have them down at the side of the mat, framing the right foot. Go ahead and drop the hands anyway, frame the right foot. Step the right foot back into plank, press back, downward dog. We're gonna walk the hands to the back of the mat right this time, and then we're gonna slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, palms come to heart center. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, palms come to heart center. We're gonna inhale, shift the weight into the left foot, bring the right knee into the chest, and then we're gonna slowly walk the right foot out into a high lunge. Take an inhale here, and on the exhale, we're gonna open up for warrior two. Making sure that the right knee tracks over the right ankle, that the back of the heel of the right foot is directly in a line with the arch of the left foot. Shoulders squeeze behind you. Look over the right fingertips. We're gonna take an inhale, and as we inhale, we're gonna straighten the right leg. We're gonna squeeze the inner thighs together and come up to triangle. We're gonna exhale back into warrior two, keeping the right knee tracked over the ankle. Inhale, triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, come up, triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, come up, triangle, squeeze the inner thighs together. Exhale, back to warrior two. Last time. Inhale, triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten that right leg again, and turn the feet to face the back of the mat so that the toes are directly in front into a straight line. I'm gonna face the camera this time so that you can see what I'm doing. So toes are facing the front of the mat. Bring the hands to heart center. Shift the weight into the big toes. As we inhale, we're gonna slowly hinge from the hips and lower ourselves down just a little bit. Inhale here. Exhale, press through the toes and come back up. Inhale, lower down, hinge from the hips. Exhale, press into the big toes and the hamstrings. Bring yourselves up. We're gonna do the same thing, but this time we're gonna get a little bit lower so that we come all the way to a flat back. So inhale, tip over, keeping that weight into the big toes. Exhale, use those hamstrings to press yourselves back up. Inhale, weight comes into the toes, flat back. Exhale, use those hamstrings to get yourselves back up into a standing position. Last time, inhale, weight into the toes. Exhale, drop all the way down. Let the hands meet the mat if they can. You can even grab opposite elbows for ragdoll. And just sway yourself from side to side. Hands can either come up to the ankles too. But just making sure that we're keeping the weight out of the heels. Squeezing those inner thighs together to stabilize yourselves. Arms are gonna come out into a T position, and we're gonna inhale, come all the way up. Use those hamstrings, nice and slow. We're gonna walk our feet out, back into warrior two. Cartwheel the arms over. Step the right foot back, plank. Press back, downward dog. Go ahead and walk the hands back to the back of the mat to meet the feet. Inhale, slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Arms come up overhead. And exhale, the palms to heart center. Inhale again, arms come up overhead. Look up, reach up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale, arm comes up. Shift the weight into the right foot this time. And then step the left foot into the front of the mat so that we come into high lunge. I'm actually gonna turn around this time so that you can see me. So we're in high lunge, that left foot is in front. We're high up on the ball of the right heel. Inhale here. Exhale, open up for warrior two. So we're making sure that that knee tracks directly above the left ankle, that the back of the left heel is in a line with the arch of the right foot. The right foot is in a 45-degree angle. Try to square off your hips as much as you can. This is the most I can square off my hips without my knee coming out into the side. You want to make sure that that knee always tracks over the left, always tracks over the ankle. We're gonna take an inhale here, and as we inhale, we're gonna extend or straighten out the left leg and come up into a triangle position, squeezing the inner thighs together. Exhale, return back, warrior two. Inhale, squeeze, come up. Exhale, back to warrior two. Make sure that the knee is tracked over the ankle. Inhale, squeeze, triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Just a couple more times. Inhale, squeeze, triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Last time. Inhale, squeeze for triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Go ahead and walk the feet in so that the toes are facing forward. Inhale the arms up overhead, and then bring the hands to palms to heart center. Shift the weight into the big toes, keeping the weight out of the heels. We're gonna inhale and we're gonna tip over just a slight bit. Exhale, press through the big toes, come on up. Inhale, tip over just from the hips, weight in the big toes. Inhale, press into the big toes, squeeze the hamstrings, guide yourselves up. We're gonna do that a few more times. This time we're gonna hinge so that we're all the way in a flat back position. Again, keeping the weight out of the heels and into the big toes. Inhale, hinge from the hips. Flat back. Exhale, use those hamstrings and those big toes, squeeze the glute, get yourselves back up. Couple more times. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, come on up. Last time, inhale, hinge forward. Flat back. Exhale, go ahead and drop all the way to the mat. Your fingertips can touch the mat. You can take a ragdoll by grabbing opposite elbows, or you can place the hands around the ankles. Just let the head hang here. And on your next inhale, I want you to slowly roll up, keeping the weight out of the heels, using those hamstrings, guide yourself up. And then walk the feet out, back into warrior two, knee tracks over the ankle, square off the hips, cartwheel the arms over, step back for plank, press up, downward dog. Shift the weight forward again for plank. And then slowly lower yourselves down all the way to the mat. Roll over to your backs. And bring your feet about hip-width distance apart. Bring the backs of the heels so that the tops of the fingertips can slightly graze them. We're gonna do some bridges here. Now, the point in our bridge is to keep our knees and thighs squeezed together. Sometimes we try to lift the pelvis up and our knees can come out. So if you know that you have trouble with that, sort of like I do, you can take your towel and you can place the towel in between your knees. This is just gonna be a reminder for you to keep squeezing the knees together. So again, tops of the fingertips graze the backs of the heels. We're gonna take an inhale here, tuck the pelvis under, squeeze the knees together, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, lower back down to the mat. Inhale, tuck the pelvis, squeeze everything into the center. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, pelvis comes up, tuck, squeeze those knees together. Exhale, lower back down. A few more times. Inhale, squeeze everything into the midline, tuck the pelvis under, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, up and squeeze. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, up and squeeze. Exhale, lower. Go ahead and get rid of that towel and bring the knees into the chest to give yourselves a hug. Drop the left leg and bring the right knee into the chest, rolling out the right ankle here. Apply some pressure to the left leg so that you can keep it firmly pressed into the mat with your left hand. You can even slightly roll the right knees to get those hips nice and warm. Squeeze the right knee back into the chest one last time. And drop the leg out in front of you. Left knee comes into the chest. If you want to keep that right leg planted, just go ahead and firmly apply some pressure with the right hand. Roll out the left ankle. You can even take the left hand to help guide the knee in circles, massage the hips a little bit. Bring that left knee back into the chest one last time. And drop the left leg out back in front of you. Arms come out by your sides, palms up. Let the feet hang off to the sides. Take one last deep inhale here for Shavasana. Exhale, drop everything into the mat. Start to bring the life back into your body by wiggling the fingertips, rolling the ankle, moving the feet from side to side. You do the same thing with your head. Head comes side to side. And when you're ready, go ahead and roll over onto one side, keeping the eyes closed, knees tucked in front of you, using the bicep to rest your head for fetal position. The pose that represents new beginnings and that reminds us that from anywhere, we can start over. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this video to be helpful, please like, please send to a friend. I will be posting new flows every week, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, so that you'll be the first to know when new flows are added. See you next time, lovely.